today I'm here with Rebecca Gates, and Rebecca has a story of responding to one of those ads that comes in the bulletin about needing help to serve one of our neighbors. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Rebecca, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being a guinea pig on this experiment, and we'll see how this goes. Okay. So you saw this ad in the bulletin to help out with one of our neighbors. So what was that ad, and what made you respond to it?
It was just a small couple lines about somebody living over in the apartments over part of the Herkimer apartments, right, part of that group of apartments. And it was a man who was blind and a veteran and needed help with laundry, and he needed some assistance for some time. And I thought, I could do that. I've got 4 kids. I know how to do laundry. And as somebody who has, worn glasses pretty much all my life, my heart kind of goes out to somebody who can't see very well. And I just figured I would do it. So, I got in contact with Dawn Peterson, and she put me in touch with the right people. And I ended up going over and meeting Ralph, who lives over at Herkimer. And we just started a pattern of me going every week and helping him with his laundry. Initially just kind of doing it at my house, and I just stayed there. They have facilities there, and I would do it there. I just went every week, and it was real casual, and I'd pick up his laundry and go to the room across the hall, and we kind of chit-chat and just, just kind of life. And I did it actually every Sunday before church because that fit with my schedule, and so it was good.
You're a hands-on person. You like doing things.
I like doing things. Actually, I was thinking as you read that psalm that it says, "Give your testimony, proclaim from the streets," and it's not in my nature to be out preaching the gospel. I'm not you, Mike. I'm not the person who's going to go to work on Monday and round up my coworkers and spread the good news I heard at church. I'm much more somebody who, if somebody needs a hand doing laundry or needs some food or something, that's me.
So you're over there helping Ralph, rolling up your sleeves and doing stuff. Right. In the course of that service, what did you learn though about faith?
Well,
and how God's at work in our community?
Well, I guess one of the things I learned was just the opportunities that God gives you. So it started out with me helping Ralph with laundry, but then it kind of progressed from, there were times where he didn't really have enough food to eat. He ran through his check or whatever, so I was bringing him food, or he needed a lift somewhere because he didn't have a car and he couldn't really see very well to take the bus, so I would take him places. And then I met his friend who also needed some help, so I kind of just more opportunities to help people, which I hadn't really thought would happen, but it was a great thing that God gave me that. I think the other thing was just, in talking with Ralph about his life, and he was somebody who, he was raised in the church, and he would talk about that, although he kind of strayed from that growing up, different parts of his life. But he and his friend had started going through this certain Bible study, and I actually didn't know this. It was called the Addict's Bible, I think, something to really help people who are recovering from addiction and struggling. We would talk about that, and he knew I had come from LaGrave, and I was part of the church over here, and he sometimes would even talk about, he kind of felt bad about the way he lived his life, and he wasn't a good church person, and I would try to reassure him that, we're all sinners. We all need help, and maybe you're different from me, but in that way. But we're the same. We have the same need for God.
Yeah. So you end up sharing the gospel with him, and he with you. It sounds like too. I mean, in him talking about his faith, was that surprising to you, or?
Well, I mean, it wasn't so much. I wouldn't say I guess it was surprising. I mean, I wasn't knowing that there was an Addict's Bible, and that I didn't even realize that was something that was available to people, and it was great to hear that part of it. I think, it was more just with Ralph talking about life, and kind of the highs and lows he had, and the things he was trying to be a man of faith, and he would he said he would pray for me and I would pray for him, and that was great to know.
Yeah.
We kind of had that connection. And then I also just ended up meeting his friend, as I said, Rick. And Rick, too, was somebody who had been with the church and then strayed, and struggled like Ralph did with addiction.
Yeah.
But then was trying to seek out help, in the church again. And it was great to meet him. He asked me to pray with him one time. And so it was really something that I didn't expect to happen, but really, learn through that.
I like something that John Calvin says that I think relates to what you're talking. And he says, the greatest knowledge we can acquire, this is my paraphrase, is knowledge about ourselves and knowledge about God.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like you learned some things about yourself.
Right.
What did you learn about God?
Maybe that God appears in places you don't always look, or you don't expect to see God. I think that probably was the biggest thing that I learned from it. And I think, too, the way that people see God and see the church, the fact that Ralph knew I was coming from LaGrave, but but I was somebody who would reach out to him. I don't think he was really expecting that.
Okay.
And so it was kind of nice to have that shown to me, too. I hadn't really thought about experiencing. When I answered an ad about laundry, I wasn't expecting to experience God in this way.
Rebecca, thank you for sharing how serving God helped teach you some things about yourself and solidify kind of what you know to be true about God, and even in surprising ways. Thanks for listening to Rebecca's story.